Good morning. This is Shamrandi from Providence Life Design, and I'm glad you're able to get this video. So this video was brought about based on a conversation that I had with a contractor. He and I are friends. He's done work for me. He's executed work for me, and he's really talented at what he does. Right? So I know you guys know I've said it many times in tons of other videos. Your installer is not your designer, but I know contractors have to do what they have to do, especially if they're trying to satisfy old customers, kind of like wing it on the spot, that type of thing. But he and I had a very in-depth conversation about like the benefits of being able to delegate those services and why he and I have worked together in the past, okay? Because there's things that I do or offer that he is not able to offer. Now, I did this video, I know, when I was at the brick and mortar, and it just went into detail about how, homeowners tend to want to use the installer as your designer. He's not your designer. And I'm going to hit all facets of it. A, it is unfair to even do that to them. That's the first thing. B, the second thing is the logistical purposes of them being there. They can do that job, right? Somebody that is good at what they do, you want that person to be able to focus only on what it is that they're doing, not to get sidetracked or anything like that. C, what ends up happening is there's an unfairness to expect a realistic timeline past the time that was agreed upon if you yourself are taking them off of schedule. Okay, so if you ask somebody, okay, when is my demo getting done? When are you guys going to finish up? When are you coming? Blah, blah, blah. All right, they start the job. One of the workers are not there. You have two people working in your house. And you're like, okay, you're here 2 days. Why is this taking so long? 3 days. Why is it taking so long? In your mind, you're thinking, why is it taking so long? Now, a project that should have been knocked out in 4 days, you start counting in the middle of the project being done, and you're wondering, why is it not finishing on time? Because, sir, ma'am, you had your installer running to go and collect stuff that if he was good and he gave you a list, you didn't do. You're like, oh, just grab it for me. Just get it for me. Okay. We're in Miami. Miami, thank goodness, it is not like Georgia and not like LA when it comes to traffic. You still can, squander a lot of time, precious time that can be used to work on your job. Okay. The other thing too is now when it starts getting to the end of your project being done, what a lot of homeowners fail to realize is that an installer has to also grab contracts or agreements from other people. So other consultants, other homeowners, whatever it is that is moving the job along so they can hold on to their workforce, right? Because people have to still work. It's really important when you're in that field, right? So if you are a laborer, it's like you have to be laboring. It's very, very simple. But if you have folk making a pit stop to go and pick up something that you just refused to do when you were giving clear example, or you kind of like wanted to. This is the other problem where you kind of like want to jump in mid stride and like, hey, okay, I could just grab that. I'll get that later. Can you guys just start? No, that means that you are now controlling the timeline for something that's going on in your house when you are not directly related to the work that's going on in the house. You are not the laborer. You're not the one over there setting anything. You can run the risk of even having materials wasted if a laborer is waiting on you to make the store trip. That's no good, right? So just try to keep it all together. Either they do it or you go according to a list when your estimate is written and making sure everything is, sorted and accounted for on your list so your job can be done. Now, yes, we're talking specifically about just like basic floors or bathroom design. Okay, that's really, really important. Yes, in bathroom design, it's really not that important for your vanity to be purchased right away. But everything that has to do with all of your hard surfaces and everything that's related to the walls that's happened after your demo and prep and waterproofing and everything that's happened after that stuff, that needs to be on site. It needs to be on site. It needs to be there. You know, don't try to finagle anything. You know, it's just not fair, right? And then the other thing is, the last thing, and this is what, you know, I know that I've done a lot of videos about this, is wanting the installer to be traipsing with you inside of your building supplier. Why? Why? Huh? Like, that is just not, that's not good. In communities where, someone is, they're not moonlighting, right? Like, everyone knows, like, oh no, he's done my bathroom, or no, I know that guy, or he's in here daily, right? Because we have the installers that are making their daily stops, especially if they're doing, like, you know, volume work. And then they have project managers. They're there to kind of like make sure that the morale is good and that, you know, their business relationships are kept up with. It's like, to see that same person in a store with you, walking 2 hours with you. Then in my case, this has happened to me before, right? And this is why I used to stop my customers. Like, please do not come to your appointment with your installer, right? Because I've just had one too many arguments and fights with installers. It's just not necessary, right? Which is not the reason I'm not there anymore. But there is a value in that, right? Because my job is just to be able to follow along with the customer, make sure they get what they want, make sure that the finished product is going to look what they want, look how they want it to look. I'm not there to argue with anybody about their cheapness and logistics, right? Because they have some installers that are like really bootlegging it. They're trying to like see if they can scrape an extra $15. Like, listen, some of them out there are not the best money managers or time managers for that matter, right? So then what happens is, after you've been in the store for half the day, in stores, this is going over the course of 2 days, 3 days. In end, do not be mad with them when the work is taking forever. Don't do that, right? So there has to be a workflow. It's the same thing as if you go to the hair salon. You don't want your hairstylist to put a chemical in your hair and then have to run out to go and get something else that they need. Maybe something that's going to like, that's going to tone the product that they put in your hair. You don't want that. You want them to have everything within arm's reach, and it needs to presently be there, okay? So enable your installers to be as efficient as possible. Do not be the problem, okay? Don't try to cut corners, especially if you're in condos, because Murphy's Law is going to come and rear its ugly head, and everything that can possibly go wrong will go wrong. It's happened before. That's happened before, right? Like, we don't have to go back and rehash that. But do the best that you can, okay? And save yourself the trouble and get yourself a consultant. So you can meet with me virtually. We can talk the same way that you're watching this video. We're going to have conversations. There's going to be emails. There's going to be mood boards sent over. There's going to be a conversation between you and I, asking what it is that you want to see. What do you like? What's your style? What's your aesthetic? Well, how do you want to feel? How do you use your home? What hour of the day are you always there? There's tons of questions that is going to guide me. And then sometimes it doesn't have to be a ton of questions because I'm that good, okay? So feel free to reach out to me if you need assistance through Providence Life Design. Virtually, if you're in the South Florida area, I come out. There's no problem, okay? I come to where my work is and where I collect my check. All right. Have a blessed one, guys. Stay organized and have a colorful day. Providence Life Design.